youth has a different view of how change happens compared to the older generation, I would call them. But I think I would attribute that to context. Older people have more context and they made decisions that were best at the time. But then you have a youth that some of them don't get the context of why things are the way they are, and they want to basically rip that band-aid off.
We create the system and we are able to transform it. We are able even to destroy it if it is not serving our purposes.
You know, when one talks about changing the system, we are very quick to say the system is out there and the change must come from outside. But we know that the best and most impactful change is driven from internal change first. Because once I know myself and I can change myself, I'm better equipped to change my system or change my environment in which I operate.
How do we shift the mindset of our people? You know, the mindset of homelessness, the mindset of gangsterism, the mindsets of lack.
Because we are here already, we can't completely overhaul the system, but how do we infuse some things that are relevant, that resonate with us as Africans, to ensure that we are reflected in the things that we are participating in?
The Anticipation Summit builds on the momentum that essentially was kickstarted with the Visioning Summit. The first one was sort of really futures focused, where with this one we are specifically focusing on action in terms of how are we going to use everything that was articulated at the Visioning Summit and make it practical and usable going forward. And this is where heuristics come in.
So I would say heuristics are the underlying drivers that drive your doings in your day-to-day. So there's your myths and metaphors, like the things that you tell yourself. Those are very important because if you want to drive change, then you have to change how you think. You have to change your point of views.
One of the original systems thinkers was Donella Meadows, and she spoke about what we call leverage points, points of changing a system. And she asserted that the myths, metaphors, worldviews, the things that inform from below everything we see on the top, are the most powerful change points and points of reflection. So we've been trying to uncover what those myths and metaphors are in the current system, then trying to imagine new myths and metaphors that we would like to use to build more positive systems.
You delve deeper below sort of the surface level of what you're thinking and doing, and you really get to the underlying myths and metaphors that inform how the way you show up in the world.
We all see the signs of change. We can see change coming, but we also have this notion of willful blindness. So although I see signs of change, I'm still stuck in my old patterns. And that's why we've also unearthed these heuristics to make one question. But if I've expressed my visions at the Visioning Summit to achieve this future, why am I still practicing willful blindness and continuing my old and tested patterns?
With the Anticipation Summit, it was more about really creating an action-orientated approach to making sure that we enable the participants to, both the seeds and the changemakers, to really act on what they were seeing in the visions, but also give them the skills and the knowledge and capabilities of reconciling the inner world of their with the outer world of their actions, and really strengthening the systems so that they can drive the change they want to see in the world.
Our approach is a peer learning and participatory futures approach, as we believe that by working together, learning from each other and sharing on experience, we can better rethink complex problems, develop new and innovative approaches, and also build on meaningful action within our particular areas of work and interest.
Yes, I want to make it the positive disruption, but it takes time. So that element of being patient for a process to take place for you to transform the system need to be embedded
in our impatience, in our rush to make things happen. But we need to be patient, we need to be dedicated and determined in a way that we are learning through process.
The quest for us is to open people's awareness to how they can embody relationality and how they can find this ambiguity that's inherent in ourselves and the systems that we are co-creating. But then also we're trying to help them find some form of guiding principles or wayfinding mechanisms or heuristic that gives them guidance no matter how complex things are.
We're also focused on building a community of practice and a community of change agents that continues and extends collaboration and activities post the project. We have already seen the emergence of organic connections and opportunities linked to the different activities of various change agents in the project. And we're excited that this can continue and create broader impact.
Change happens in spurts of growth. There's long periods of stagnation. It's an iterative process. We've tried something, let's try something different and try over and over again and see what happens.